Hey guys, sorry I'm running a little bit late today. I had a meeting this morning and it's just kind of put me behind a little bit. Plus, I'm just trying to get things squared away because we all have all these questions about grades. First things first, I did schedule those two Zoom meetings for later today. These are optional, so come if you would like. The first one's at 12:30 and the second one's at 2. I know I posted that wrong on Edmodo and I fixed it. So 12:30 or 2 if you can make it. All right. Okay, so second, in a nutshell, none of the work that you're turning in online can hurt you. It can only be used to help your grade. All right, so the last assignment that goes into Synergy that could actually affect your grade is the modest proposal quiz that I didn't get entered before we left. Okay, I brought them home with me, but I haven't put them in because they told us not to touch Synergy. So I'm putting those in today. And once that little quiz goes in, your grade will be that March 13th magical grade that everyone is talking about. All right. So your end of the semester grade cannot be lower than your March 13th grade. Okay. So only one more grade can count, and you've already done it. You did it back at the beginning of March. Okay. I just haven't had a chance to put it in. I'm doing it now. All right. So now, what does that mean for all this online learning? Well, it means it's a really awesome opportunity for you guys to get some practice risk free. You don't have to worry about something hurting you. You can really challenge and test yourself and your abilities through some of the assignments that we're doing. If you have hopes to raise your grade from what it currently is to like a whole next letter grade, I think you could totally do that. All right. So you just can keep working and turning in assignments. And I will only input the ones that help your grade. And then when you reach the grade that you're striving for, I guess you're done. That's the way it works. So I guess it's a pretty cool opportunity. It just scares me a little bit because I know a lot of us will be like, okay, good, I got my grade, I'm out. But 4 months is a really long time to go without any kind of, brain stimulation and being part of that educational mindset. That scares me a little bit in terms of being prepared for next year. So, if you want to keep participating and, doing some of the assignments that I'm posting, you can do that without having to worry about them hurting you. Okay. And I figure, we'll do some sort of like a novel study or some different things, book club type stuff after spring break to also, for enrichment, I guess. Because I know a lot of you guys will try to get that goal grade pretty quickly. Okay. All right. So be patient checking Synergy because I do have that one last grade to enter because it's from like March the 4th. And so it can and should count. And after that, you'll be able to see where you are. And then as I start putting in good grades only, you'll be able to see your progression up until, well, I don't know, as high as you can get it, as high as you want to get it in the time that we have left. All right. So I'm going to post another poem today with a quizzes. This final poet from the Romantic movement is a guy named John Keats. And Keats has a really interesting life story. He actually died at the age of like 25 from tuberculosis. And he was very well aware that he was dying. And so you see that thematically show up in his poetry. There's a tone there. You might remember when we read John Milton's When I Consider How My Light Is Spent, and about how he was going blind. John Keats writes a poem very similar to that called When I Have Dreams, or When I Have Fears, I May Cease to Be. And he's talking about his own death. And he says that in that poem, he says that it's not really that he's afraid to die. He's afraid of not having time to get all these ideas out of his head and into writing. Like, it saddens him that he won't be able to leave all of this behind as part of his legacy. So his poems tend to be really emotional. And the poem I'm giving you guys today is called To Autumn, the season, autumn. And it's a really interesting look at autumn because autumn is often used symbolically to refer to the end of life, the dying, and so autumn can often be seen as an almost depressing time of year. There's a sadness and a grief associated with it. And Keats doesn't really do that at all in his poem. Instead, he celebrates all the things that we should love about autumn. The annotations for that poem are a lot more specific because this poem is just a little bit harder than the other ones. So I really encourage you to go through and do those annotations to help you read it very, very carefully because the imagery is extremely rich in this poem. Like every line, every half a line, there's lots of imagery. And remember, it's all about autumn. So if you keep that season and what you already know about that season, if you keep that in the back of your mind, you should be able to form some of those visual images in your head. Okay, so keep in mind things, like the harvest, okay, and, the fields and gathering things. A little bit about maybe what the weather tends to be like in the autumn, and then also the way he compares it to spring, okay, and that's towards the end of the poem. All right, so I'll post all that on Edmodo. And if you can make the Zoom meetings, I will talk to you guys all there and give you a little bit more detail and maybe be able to answer some of your questions. All right. And then after spring break, we'll just keep going. For those of you who need to keep going to improve your grade, I will be here to help you do that. And I think it's going to, it'll work out beautifully. And if I don't see you guys on Zoom later today, I hope you all have a very restful spring break, even though we don't get to go all those wonderful places that we had planned. Keep in mind, I was supposed to be leaving for London today. So I'm smiling because what else can I do, right? It's sad and I'm incredibly disappointed, especially after hearing all your wonderful research projects, but it is what it is. London will still be there. And when we get back from spring break, I'll still be here for you. All right. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, be kind. Okay. Be kind to those closest to you because this isn't easy on anyone. And spreading kindness to others is good food for the soul, and it can help raise your own spirits as well. All right, guys. Bye.